In part one of the bike shed video, I was able to get this first panel built, but in this episode, we're going to go ahead and finish this out. So let's get to it. Alright, I put a clamp there and held that in place while I screwed it in, and I used my spacer board for the bottom, and used a clamp here as well. So now I need to attach the bottom, and I'm just going to use my spacer for that. Alright, this is as far as I'm going to get tonight. It's starting to get dark, and I'm being a little bit too loud for the neighbors, in my opinion. Alright, you saw my daughter out here putting a coat of stain on, and looks pretty good. Nice and rustic. I told her don't worry about getting a little bit over here on the frame, because I'm going to be staining that a much darker color, black cherry. In fact, I've taken the corrugated roofing off just to make it easier to get the bottom. I really should have stained the frame before putting the siding on. That's alright, I'll just tape that off. But I'm going to go ahead and finish the other side, build the frame like this, and then I'll frame out the roof section, and then I'll stain that black cherry. I think that's going to have a nice contrast with this gun stock that's on there right now. Alright, so I set up my angle on this post. I should have done it on the back post before I put the rest of the frame on, but didn't do that. It's not that much of a slope, so I'm not too concerned about it, but I cut this one off to an angle. It's only about 5 degrees. Looks pretty good until you get over on this side. It's a little botched, but I think it's going to be all right. When I put a flat surface up on it, it's not too bad. So I'll go with that. Alright, this side's a lot better. I ended up cutting it by hand and then taking a wood rasp to it to get any ridges out of it. So yeah, this side's a lot better. Should have done that on the other side, but tried using electric tools and they just weren't long enough. But I think we'll be good. Okay, I want these top braces to have the same offset. So I'm gonna offset it the width of a 2x4. So I've got this one leaning out a little bit so it'll butt up against it. And that should give me the same offset on both. And then I'm just clamping them and I'm just gonna screw them in like this. Okay, I've got the two end, I guess you call these rafters. So now I'm going to put a cross brace along the front, and the distance between the 4x4s is 8 feet, and since I need to span the 4x4s, that means I need to add 7 inches, so that'd be 103 inches. And I do have some 9-foot studs, so I'll be able to cut one out of that, and then I'll put that across the front. Alright, so I've got all the framing done, and I've got all my slats cut, and I did remove that corrugated siding from the bottom here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tape off everything that has already been stained, and I'm going to stain the rest of the frame, or the entire frame, black. No, it's not black, it's black cherry. So it's going to have a little bit of red tone in it. But I'm going to do that, and then hopefully it'll be dry by tomorrow. It should be. It dries in an hour, and I'll be able to put the slats on, which I'm going to be staining separately as well. So let me get to taping this up and get to staining. Alright, 1 section down, 3 to go. Alright, so I've started to put the black cherry on the frame, and I gotta be honest, probably can't tell here, but it sure went on purple. I think it's drying darker than that, but man, for a little bit there I thought I was painting this frame purple. And we'll see what it looks like when it dries out. But I got a storm coming in, and I'm losing light, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up for tonight. Get back on this in the morning. But I think it's gonna look okay as long as it doesn't dry purple. I think we'll be all right. And if it does dry purple, I'll put something over that, because I'm not sure what purple and gunstock are going to look like. But anyway, that's where we are so far. Alright, I've got all my slats cut for the bike shed, and I'm going to go ahead and stain them with this gunstock. I'm going to stain them and let them dry before I put them on. I should have done that with the first batch, but live and learn. Alright, I got a coat on, which means I'm halfway done, because I still have to do, after these dry, I gotta flip them over and do the other side. And this side is where I started is almost dry. So I'll probably give it another, it says that it has a 1 hour drying time. So I'll give it another 30 minutes and then I'll start flipping these over one at a time and give those a coat as well. But now I just need to wait 30 minutes. Alright, I'm still waiting for those other slats to dry, but while we're waiting, let's see what it looks like underneath this tape. It's not perfect, but I like it. Good enough for me. I mean, it's just an outdoor bike shed, right? Alright, there it is with the tape off. I think the color turned out pretty nice. I have to admit, when I was first painting that black cherry on, it was going on purple. I was getting a little nervous, but I think it turned out nice. Perfect contrast. So now I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and get that piece of tin on the bottom there. I'm still waiting for those other slats, and they're gonna go right here on these two end pieces here, over there, and then right here. And then I'll put a couple of pieces of the corrugated tin right here and here, and on the roof. So let me get that piece of corrugated tin on the bottom and we'll go from there. Alright, so I've got that bottom panel on, so it kind of gives you an idea of what it's going to look like. Still need to get that sticker off down there at the bottom. It's not one of those stickers that just peels off. You have to scrape it off with Goo Gone or something. So that's going to be a hassle, but if you ignore that, I think the contrast is pretty nice. So let me go check and see if those other panels are dry yet, and I can start getting those on here. Alright, got the other slats up, and from this angle it looks pretty good, but if you get a little closer you can see that I misnumbered the amount of slats that I need. I still need to put one more up on that top row there. I probably did that on purpose, I'm just not remembering that I need to cut that one at an angle. I do have another slat long enough to get two pieces out of. It's not stained, but I think at this point I can probably put it up and stain it after the fact, because it's not going to get the frame any darker. So I think I'll go ahead and do that. But I don't know if you heard that thunder in the background, but something's moving in. We'll see how far I can get. Still need to get these two side pieces of tin on, but it's coming along. I think I'm gonna like that. Alright, I took this little scrap cutoff. I got all the cutoffs from those slats, and I'll be able to use that without having to cut into my last good slat. So I got my mark there. One of those is the right mark, trust me, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that off, and then I'll replicate that on the other side, and we'll get those up. Alright, that's going to work out just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the other one, and I'm just going to go ahead and install these, and I'll stain them after they're up, because with the dark frame, I'm not afraid of the gunstock hitting that, because it's not going to affect it. Alright, I got her up, and I got the roof on, but I just barely got it tacked in a few places, just enough to hold it on. It's starting to rain, and I just wanted to get it tacked down so that the wind wouldn't take it, but looks pretty good. That's the finished product. I really like the way the colors turned out. Like, once again, black cherry frame, gunstock are the slats, and then just corrugated galvanized steel. So let me throw the bikes in there and let's see if they fit. What I was going for was a match with the brick. So what do you guys think? How did I do? Just leave in the comments if I nailed it, came close enough, or totally off.